And I'm joined now by Andrew Kirtzman, author of Giuliani, The Rise and Tragic Fall of America's Mayor. Andrew, thank you for being here. I mean, we were just talking the other day about the remarkable idea that Giuliani had been indicted. Did you ever think that you'd see a Rudy Giuliani mugshot?
No, it's an extraordinary sight. And, this was a catastrophic hit to Giuliani's reputation, not to mention the fact that he faces the prospect of possibly spending the rest of his life in prison. No, I never thought it would come to this. But, what I found interesting watching him speaking to reporters today was the first words out of his mouth were, "I'm honored to be involved in the fight for justice," right? You were not looking at someone who was scared or, mortified or depressed. You were looking at someone who was, primed for battle. And, Giuliani is a machine who knows only one speed, which is, shoot to kill. And he's fought so many battles over his career, and many of them things that have actually improved life in New York. The battle against the mafia, the battle against Wall Street, the battle to turn around New York City, the battle to save New York after 9/11. Well, this is obviously a different kind of battle. And, he still sees himself as kind of that young prosecutor, always fighting for justice. But, this is his last battle, most likely. And he goes into it not kind of the young Giuliani in his prime, but really someone who's close to 80 years old. In many ways, he's a confused man. He's almost broke. And in some ways, this is not kind of, I don't know, an epic battle in the true sense. In many ways, he starts this battle a very sad man.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly bothered by the unraveling of his legacy. He's certainly trying to defend it. I mean, when you're talking about the kind of sense of bravado that he had, this is what he said when he left his apartment here in New York this morning.
People like to say I'm different. I'm the same Rudy Giuliani that took down the mafia, that made New York City the safest city in America, reduced crime more than any mayor in the history of any city, anywhere. And I'm fighting for justice. I have been from the first moment. I represented Donald Trump.
I mean, are you buying the bravado, given you're someone who's covered him for as long as you have?
Yeah, I am. I think just knowing his psyche after reporting on him for 30 years, it's that his, if you looked inside his brain, I think what you would see was someone who felt always that he was right and everyone else was wrong, right? Someone who was crusading for justice, someone who was on the right of any issue, even when what he was doing was deeply immoral. And I don't see this as kind of putting on a phony act. Like, I think he only has kind of one speed, and that's to fight. And I think that's what you're seeing. And I think that's why I don't know, I'm a little dubious about whether he would flip on Trump. It would just kind of go against everything that I've ever seen Giuliani do. It's like everything with him is a moral battle, even when what he's doing is extremely immoral. I mean, Giuliani has done terrible damage to democracy. He's told lies. He's taken America down a very, very, terrible path. And yet there is no question in my mind that he thinks he's right and everyone else thinks he's wrong.
So that's
and everyone else is wrong.
That's fascinating, though, what you said there. I mean, Trump is refusing to pay for his legal fees. I mean, it's not totally clear how those fees are being paid. His attorney couldn't answer those questions just now. But you don't think that there's anything that could happen where he would flip on Trump or provide incriminating information?
Well, there's something about the prospect of prison that focuses the mind, right? So I don't think you can possibly say that there's nothing that would make him flip on Trump. But, that I have not heard, one word of kind of vacillation, in his remarks. I was just, listening to him on his podcast. It's all the same. It's like injustice, 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 right? He's the victim. Trump is the victim. Could he suddenly change his tune completely? To me, it's unlikely. You never know, though.
Something about prison that focuses the mind. Andrew Kirtzman, it was great having you on last week. Great having you back tonight.
Thank you.